Hey, what's going on? We back. Before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the videos. Shakur Stevenson calls out Maris. He wants that smoke, and he wants that smoke right now. People been hearing and seeing a lot of videos. People talking about possibility of the fight maybe happening like in January, and those two going up against each other, and who would win in that particular fight. The issues that would come up as far as the fighters are concerned. And to me, man, F all that ish. That's my comment to it. Yo, enough of this talking about stuff that everybody knows is not going to happen. You know what I mean? I'm not about that talking about stuff that's not going to happen. We need to stay and focus on realistic fights that we know could definitely happen. Realistic fights. When it comes to Shakur, you signed to Top Rank. Okay? You're with. That's the side you chose to sign with. Okay? So you being with Bob Arum moves a certain way. Just like Eddie Hearn moves a certain way, Al Heyman move a certain way. They'll send people wherever, as long as the money's right and you're not being gypped. We know that because they've done it. We've seen Andy Ruiz get sent out. We've seen Mikey Garcia get sent out. People like Jacobs, people like Vargas. All these guys are still actually signed to Al Heyman as advisors. He'll send them out. He doesn't care, as long as the money is right and everything's on point. But when it comes to somebody like Bob Arum, and you're signed to Bob Arum, and you're one of his main fighters, he's not doing anything unless basically he knows, number one, you're going to win, and number two, he knows that he's covered. Okay, and he's still going to try to hit his bottom line when it comes to funds. Mars is somebody, when it comes to fights of this nature, Mars expects over $1 million per fight. A fight of this magnitude, he's used to getting paid substantially over $1 million for the fight. Okay? That he's going to want certain TV rights and things of that nature that he's used to getting. He knows what his worth is. All right? This is a type of fight where if it was to quote happen, Mars gets offered like $400,000 or $500,000 by Top Rank. He's not going to do that. He can go fight Gary Russell Jr. and make over $1 million. He could probably fight Tank next after Tank's done with this fight with Santa Cruz. They could end up still fighting, and he can make money off of that. There's different things that he can still do and get a substantial amount of money and do $1.5 to $2 million with all the money that they get in the back end. He can get over $2 million plus, okay, when it comes to fighting these other guys. So if he was to fight somebody like a Shakur, there's a certain amount of funds that he's going to expect that Bob Arum is not going to give up, especially when it pertains to someone like Shakur. He's not going to invest heavily into someone like Shakur. He's not going to invest heavily when it comes to someone like Terence Crawford. He's not going to do it. That's been his MO all the way back to the Floyd Mayweather days. He wouldn't even invest in Floyd Mayweather. He wouldn't invest in Floyd. Floyd Mayweather was going to stay with Top Rank. Okay? He was going to stay with Top Rank. He wanted a multi-fight deal, and his thing was he wanted $20 million a fight. That's what he wanted. They had certain names on there, like they had Ricky Hatton on there as potential opponent. They had people like Margarito on there. All these fighters at Top Ranks that they had there, but the sticking point was Floyd Mayweather wanted $20 million a fight. Bob Arum and them said no. So Floyd Mayweather bought himself out of his contract, paid $700,000, left. The next fight he's getting paid $25 million versus Oscar De La Hoya. After that, never made under $30 million again. And that's his career. Because Bob Arum was not going to invest that for those funds. So when it comes to something like this, he's not going to invest those funds. That's number one when it comes to the finances. Number two, the danger. And people might be like, oh, what's Mars going to do? What's Mars going to do? You don't know. Shakur is young. He's very, very young. He's faced very lower tier competition. You put him up in there against a veteran, you don't know what's going to happen. Somebody with their little tricks and their tactics, all kinds of flaws could show up all of a sudden that you didn't see before. So they're not going to put him in that type of danger with someone that's not signed to Top Rank. Not going to do it. They're not going to do it to somebody that doesn't have options attached to him. Like Jeff Horn wasn't a Top Rank fighter, but he had options attached to him. Morris is not going to allow options to be tied to him. He's not going to be enslaved to Top Rank or to Bob Arum. It's not going to happen. He's not going to give up that freedom in order to get a fight that he doesn't even need. He doesn't need it. He's not in a space of desperation. This is not Nicholas Walters sitting out for a year, okay, being starved out by Top Rank, and them saying, here, okay, will you do the fight now for $300,000-$400,000? You wanted $800,000 before, but will you do it for $300,000-$400,000 now? Oh, you will? Cool. All right, it's not that type of situation. The boy is good. Like, Mares could never fight for the rest of his life, and he's straight. He's made millions of dollars, okay? Millions of dollars with Al Heyman. He's made millions of dollars sitting there just doing this little talk show thing. Doing nothing. He can commentate. He's commentating right now. When it comes to the PB shows, he's making a good amount of funds when it comes to that. He's good. So you really would have to come correct with him for a fight like that to happen. It's not going to happen. You're signed to Top Rank. Okay, Shakur. Stop wasting our time calling out these people that you know you're not going to get. Stop calling out these people that you know your promoter's not going to allow you to fight. Instead of doing that and wasting your breath, wasting your time, wasting your energy on all that BS, why don't you focus on people you can actually fight? Why don't you focus on Frampton, who's kind of aligned with Top Rank? Focus on Frampton, okay? Focus on Herring. I believe Frampton and Herring are supposed to fight each other, whether the winner's supposed to fight you within 90 days. Okay, so focus on talking about them. Focus on Burchell, the WBC champion at 130 pounds, who's also signed to Top Rank. These are fights that are realistic. These are fights that can happen. Okay? These are fights that can happen. So focus on that. Put your energy and apply your energy towards that. Towards things that you know for a fact can happen. And stop wasting the boxing media's time. Stop wasting the boxing fans' time on things that you know are bullish. You know who you're signed to. You know how they move. You know how they roll. You know how everything's going to go when it pertains to those things. So since you know that, act accordingly. Okay? Stop trying to treat fans like rocks, like Bob Arum will say, and throw them in any direction. And actually focus on doing things that's actually going to push your career forward. And focus on the guys and put the energy towards those guys so the pressure can be put on the Burchell. So when you do get the Herring versus whatever Frampton winner, you win that bout, okay? And then after that, there's already all this pressure on this guy when everybody's like, why aren't you fighting Shakur? Are you going to fight Shakur? Are you going to fight Shakur? Are you going to fight Shakur? If Lomachenko comes back down to 130, you need to put the energy on him. You need to put the pressure on him. Just like Teofimo Lopez did. He had all that pressure on Lomachenko. He didn't waste too much time putting pressure on other people because he's not stupid. He knew those fights weren't going to happen. People were sitting there, oh, why is Teo not taking this belt? Like, why isn't he not going to keep staying in the WBC tournament? So why am I going to stay in the WBC tournament? Yo, I'm going to go over here. I'm going to get this IBF belt. And then I'm still going to get this fight against Lomachenko. I know that's the guy they're going to push me to fight. I know that's the guy they're going to want me to fight. That's the fight that I know is going to happen. So I'm going to push to make that fight happen. Because I know that's a realistic fight. So stay out the fantasy and let's stick to reality. And because it not only helps the boxing fans, it also helps you as a fighter. Because then all this energy is put towards things that can actually move you forward. Not all this energy and time being applied towards bullish that's going to end to nothing but just smoke. No fire, no nothing. Don't waste your time when it comes to those things. Focus on things that's gonna push your career. And I've said it a million times, I know in this video, but it just has to be said because I don't know why certain fighters just waste their time. I know other fighters, they're just told, hey, call this guy out, which doesn't end to being anything. But you actually have guys with belts. You can have guys that you actually can fight that's in your promotional company that can push your career forward. That's what you need to focus on. That's what your energy needs to be. Just like Demetrius' energy needs to be towards people that are with his camp. That's what his energy needs to be, pushing those freaking buttons to make things happen. So whoever Shakur fights next, wish him the best. I'm not sure if he's going to have a fight between the Frampton and Herring winner. I believe he possibly will. And I look forward to him fighting the Frampton Herring winner and seeing, what he brings to the table when it comes to that level of competition, because that's actually going to happen. But for now, like, subscribe, share. I'm out.